Wow, this is the amazing shrub woman. What we would call a headdress, except it's on a backpack.
The problem is when the wind comes up, it works as a mast, and I start to blow away a little bit. But I found these on my neighbor's property. They were already cut. I asked her if I could have them, and it's a lot faster than going out in the ditch and cutting them myself. So the willow should work good for the cross bracing and the living fence. And I just want to show you again. This is a laundry bag, and it has straps like a college kid laundry bag. So far, it works really good. So.
And right now, she's standing just over 12 feet tall. And she walks off into the sunrise.
Okay, I am going out to get more materials for the living fence. So I wanted to show you the bag that I use. It's just a laundry bag, like a dorm bag, I guess they call it, and it has 2 straps. And you put it over your back, and you walk along, and as you clip things, you just reach over your shoulder and put them in the bag. And I guess once you're done, you could do up the drawstring if your children had not pulled out the drawstring. So I'm on my way to go get more sticks, and I will show you the other, where I get them from in just a second. Okay, we have a little bit of wind today. This is where I like to gather my starts for just putting sticks in the ground that will grow. And let's see, I believe that is not a cottonwood. I think that one's the cottonwood. I think these others might be black willow. But I've had good luck with willow and with cottonwood. You just take new growth, so the bark is quite green and smooth, and you just take a little screwdriver and stick it in the ground and wiggle it around until you have a space big enough, and then you just force the branch down into it, and it will grow you a tree. It does need to be watered, but they're really resilient. And then these are regular willows that don't turn into trees. They're just willows. They don't get obviously they don't get the girth that a real tree will. They'll stay small like this. But if you're making a living fence, they might be a nice addition, give you a little bit of diversity. But if you have irrigation in your area during the empty months of the year, this is a really great place to go and get plants, because it's kind of public domain because it's a waterway, and as long as you stay in the canal and you're not up on somebody's property, you should be okay. Again, I have a laundry bag on my back, and as I cut things, I will just reach over my head and put it in the bag, and I just use little pruners. So if you're going to build a windbreak, you don't want it to be solid. You want it to have some pass through, so the pallets work really, really well. You can come in here and it's really nice. What I wanted to talk about today was living fences. And if you have an area that has lots of rain, this will work really well for you. But eventually I want to take down the pallet fence because it's not very pretty. And so right here in just this little strip, I'm going to experiment. And I pushed my sticks through the mulch, and underneath there's just gravel. So on top of that, I put lots of barn litter so that the mulch can hold some water better and break down a little better. So I took cottonwoods, and I know that cottonwoods get really big, but if you keep them cut back, they'll coppice, which means that instead of growing tall, they will grow lots of small branches outwards, and you can harvest the branches so that they look more like a bush. So I have them planted really close together. I don't know if any of them will make it. I have done it in other places where they don't have roots. All they are is branches that I stuck into the ground about 8 inches. and they have the ability to grow roots from the branches as long as they haven't budded out yet, as long as the leaves haven't come out. So this is a good time of year to do it. Just go out and make sure it's a live branch, and then put it as close together as you want for your little fence. What also works is willows. Willows will work. Cottonwoods will work. I don't think Russian olive works. Okay, so there's part of the wicker fence done. It may turn into a living fence because these are willows. If it doesn't, it's okay. It still holds the wind off, and I think it makes the garden look a little nicer, and I'm really hoping that it gives a little bit of shade to things like peas and stuff. We'll see how it goes. So I take this is my favorite tool for mulch because the tines are far enough apart that the straw doesn't get stuck in them. So I use this tool to pull the mulch away, and then I do a little bit of digging with the shovel, and then I do the rest of the digging because I want it to be a hole that is small in diameter, so that the compaction of the dirt itself will hold the stake in. And then I use, can you see it? My little trowel, and so I use my little trowel to dig the rest of the way, and then I use this stick to tamp the earth once I have the stake in, and then I recover it with mulch because I don't want to be losing moisture out of that hole, even though it's small. If you have exposed dirt even just around the stake, it will still give you moisture loss. So there we go. It looks okay. Mostly it's just to keep the ducks out for now while I'm still getting more cages made up for the garden. Can you guys see that? This is my living fence, and it's alive. So on the other side is a plum that I got from my neighbor that's an exceptionally hardy plum, and they do have thorns on them. They're quite spiky. You can see just a small thing on the other side. And I have been watering it because of all the trees in here. I actually have another one that's making it now too, but this was the one that showed the first signs of snapping out of the transplant. So I've been watering it really well. And guess what happened to the post that it's sitting next to? And it is a willow. So I think that's exceptionally exciting. The dirt underneath the straw is still damp and has quite a bit of nitrogen in it from the goats and the sheep being housed here during the winter. So I would imagine, oh, we have another one. There's another one. I would imagine that a lot of them might actually start to take root. So this is just a stick that I stuck in the ground that was green when I put it in. And wow,